Okay, so this is the start of my SPX backtesting. I have a list of all the SPX trades that the coach took in the past year, and I'm just gonna work through it and I'll create a document for each trade. So I have entry, exit point, and if if like the profit they take. So you guys will not be able to see the list that I'm going through, but you'll be able to see the levels that I'm drawing out and where the coach entered and exit. If you want to see the exact levels, then you can join the course. It's called Elite Options 2. It's on WAP, but it's not up for me to reveal his trades. So I have a master list here, and then I'm gonna create a Google Doc, which basically goes through my analysis of what's going on with each trade. So I'm gonna call this file SPX only. Okay, so the first trade is going to be November 11th, November 8th, 2024. And it was 950. November 8th, 2024. I think we might have to do 15 minutes. November 8th, 950. So notice that this is a Friday. So attention to detail matters here. And let's see if we can put it back to the 5 minute just to get more precision. Did they allow it? Yes, they did. Okay. So before I even draw out the levels, I'm gonna take the levels from the coach. 6,000 is always around key level. So I'm gonna draw that one out. And then I'm gonna go in the Discord and I'm going to see what levels they had drawn out for SPX before this day occurred. So we have November 8th, 2024. I'm gonna find the levels they had for, well, I can't go back that far. So they had November 10th, 2024. So I'll just do the levels around it and then we'll draw it out as it occurs. So as we go in the future, we will draw out the levels. So we don't want to go too far ahead, even if we have the levels from beforehand, because that would be cheating. And then we're not going to learn as much. So we are at all-time highs here. So 6,000 is an obvious level, but the coach actually has levels drawn out proprietary. Well, he has says a proprietary system that allows him to figure it out. I'm gonna make this dotted because we actually don't know what the level is. It's just a guess, but somehow he gets it right a lot of the time. 6100, I guess that's an obvious one. 6014. Maybe it follows a similar pattern to how far it is away from the round numbers like 5900 and 6000. Okay, I think we have enough levels here. So we have the 5 minute. That's the best we can do. Uh, we can't go minute because it's too far from today's date. Okay, so we have our SPX levels here. And I also, so the time was 9:50. So let's go one ahead here. That's 9:45. So 9:50 ends right here. We could either do this or the next candle. I prefer to do this. So I'm going to choose this one. And this is the entry point. And then we are going to guess what's happening. So obviously he's going to take a call, but what level is he doing a call based off of? Let's see if there's another level before I 5938. Yeah, there's no other level that's here. So it crossed, this is the morning right here, kind of gapped up. And I guess it's pulling towards 6,000. So my guess is he's going to take a call towards 6,000. And it'll probably be like a quick scalp. I feel like there's going to be resistance at 6,000. Yeah, so here probably took too quick. Well, I've actually reviewed these before, so I have a little bias, but now I'm going to look at the actual I'll look at the actual trade that he took, which was the November 8th 600 call. So we'll note that it was not. So there's no level he was buying. He's just saying it's going in this direction and it's the start of the day. Let's look at QQQ at the same time period, which we actually should have done beforehand. So 9:45. Yeah, so QQQ was going down. So I don't know the basis of him taking that, but I feel like, yeah, I think this one worked out. So in the Discord, I can look up the trade that he took. It said he sold at 137, half the position. So here. So hit 6,000, then he got out. And then he left the trailer, but it doesn't say what happened to the trailer. So he sold the trailer for more, but there was no alert on it. Yeah, there's a missing alert. So what I like to do with this one is say 137, he cashes out. So I guess that was just a move towards 6,000. Okay, and we are missing the second alert. So, but that apparently was a profit. So let's go on to the next one. We have November 13th, 2024. That's 11:26. So we'll go 11:25, 11:25. Okay, so we have an upwards movement here. And QQQ, what is it doing? Okay, we'll also need to draw the levels for QQQ. So I will go to the chart book here in the Discord. This is where all the secrets happen. So I have November 10th. That's the best I can do. 2024. Okay, so around this, we have a 513.44. Good enough. 521. And this is probably not a known one. I think we're at all-time high here. Yeah, we're at near all-time high. 512, 504. 500. And so far, I think QQQ is the only one I need to be watching, but that's based on my knowledge right now. So, okay, QQQ is on the upswing. There's some intraday levels that I have not drawn out yet. I'm just using the major levels. So we're just trying to see what's going on here. So I guess we believe it's going to go up as well. It has to, but like, why did he take that? Again, is he going towards, he's assuming there's this upward movement and 6,000 is the magnet? So I think you got to be quick on these. These are 5 minute candles. I can't actually do 1 minute candles. So let's see where he exited. And for this one, he took the November 14th. So the next day, the 60-10 call. So the first one he took was 1209 right here or right here. Okay, so as soon as it hit the 6,000 level, he was out, which makes sense. Yeah, let's use that one. I prefer that one. And then 215. And he said, we'll revisit the trade. So I think he saw it was breaking 6,000 and that was stopping out. So let's say he made 40% here and then he stopped out here. he still made money, but I think he saw like he stopped at like right here, so he saw that it was probably headed back down below, right? So let's put those in there. So we have November the 13th, and the timing is 12, 12:09, 12:09, and then the second alert was 12:2:15. Yeah, I want to create a format where I'll be able to calculate what was the average hold and then what was happening at that spot. So maybe I could put a note here. Yeah, we're gonna try it. We don't really know what the correct format is. Let's try a comment. Okay, so the next one is November 21st, and this is a Thursday, and we bought the next day call. So 11:30, and then the QQQ approaching 504. And it's above a big key level 500. Okay, so SPX above 385938. Let's see how it plays out. Oh, I'm gonna guess he took profit take here and then maybe here. Again, I've reviewed some of these already, so I probably know. But if you're going to do this yourself, I would urge you to try to guess before you actually go look, because you'll learn more. Two, so the first position was 11:45, 12:45, right here, which looks like 40%. So for $12, they bought it for around 8. Yeah, it's about 40%. And then the second one, I believe he bailed on this at 221. So he bailed on this and he still made money on it. So he sold here 40%, and then here. He was in that trade a minute and 15. And then the second was, we said he was going to revisit the trade 221. Yeah, so it looked like, And let's leave a note for this one, which was 40%. Okay, next one. And all of these SPX, they look like lottos. Yeah, I think they're all lottos, but in the spreadsheet, it's not listed as a lotto. Okay, November 22nd. See how fun this is? 9:41. 9:41. Yeah, so it's this one. These are 5 minute candles. So 9:41. I guess it's kind of got a red to green type action here. This is the start of the day. Oh, it's actually just all the way up. And it's above this level. And it's defending this level as well. I'm guessing he took profit here. Let's look what he did. So now this is the 5980. It seems like we keep going up every day. So we sold at 9:45, 9:52, 9:52 the same day. 9:45. It's as good as it's gonna get. So it went up a little bit, and then 9:52, which is here. So 9:45, TP1, and then TP2 is 9:52. Basically the next candles. And how long was he in the trade for? 4 minutes and 11 minutes for TP2. Did he get his 50%? So the second one's pretty much a stop out on down close candle. Quick profit take on the first one. Okay, So the next one, okay, so that one's good. November 27th. I just wanted to look what we did with the Q here. So Q is also kind of bouncing around 504, not crossing. Okay, so now we have November 27th, 947. 947. And we're kind of in the middle of the range here, unless there's some intraday level, and then QQQ 947. So we'll take this one. Do we have levels above? Yeah. So it's kind of just in the middle of the range. Yeah, I can see why these are lotto. There's no actual reason why we should take these, unless it's like gapping up. Yeah, so it's better if I look at the extended time. Maybe a small red to green move here. It doesn't say why he got into it. It's just it says lotto, right? This looks very similar to the previous trade. And this is till end of day. Sometimes they'll do end of day, sometimes they'll do. So he actually stopped here. So he didn't get the upside here. Sometimes they'll do end of day, and then sometimes he'll do the next day. This actually did not work out. So he lost this one. So my note for this one would be set up in middle of range, and we'll see if we can see some patterns. Okay, so setup was in middle of range, and then the next one. So that was for the 60-30 call when it was already at. So he took it above. Yeah, he took like 10 above current level. So okay, so December 5th is the next one. Yeah, this is super tedious, but definitely learned a lot. So Thursday 10. Okay, so we're in the middle of the range again. QQQ. I think we need the next levels now. But this is actually at all-time high. Oh, maybe that's why we were buying because we're at all-time highs here. Yeah, so let's all-time high QQQ, all-time high SPX. That's why he's taking these trades. Okay, let's play it out. And this is for expiry today, so this is a zero TT. And again, it does not work out. So I'm gonna just put all-time high. SPX and QQQ at all-time high. That was the reason. And then now we have December 18. And he bought the next day out. So it's a Wednesday and then he bought the next day. But it says lotto for FOMC 1047. Again, we are near all-time highs. This is the all-time high. I'm going to use their levels because I don't want to mess it up. So they have 27, 537, 542, which I believe this is a predicted one because we're not there yet. So take those ones with a grain of salt. This is the actual high. So QQQ, yeah, QQQ and SPX at all time. This is the higher time frame. That is why they're taking these trades. So this is on an upswing, and then he just decided to take the trade, and it's near the 6071 level, and it could not get through. Whoa, whoa. That one did not work. I bet you FOMC was right here. Let me actually check. It was at 2 p.m. Make this stand up. So the lotto was if FOMC was good, it would have there would have been a huge return. And then on the flip side, if you had taken the put, you would have made significant money. I'm guessing the premiums would be super high. So I think that was a good bet, even though it lost. Okay, next, December 19th. Because if it hits, it's going to pay you more than the one that you lost. So December 19th, 11:23. Okay, so if this is crossing 5904. I liked it as a traditional type of setup. Some of the setups we've seen earlier were not in the range, like they were just in the middle. So Q's going up, SPX is crossing. So now we have a reason for this trade, and they're taking the 5930. So SPX is on the bounce. QQQ, they're both near all-time high. And let's see how this plays out. That was also a losing trade. Next one. This is a Friday. Note that December 20th, 11:20. I like this one. So the end of the candle would be 11:19. So the reason for this trade was crossing 5938. And let's see what QQQ is doing at the exact same time. QQQ is ripping. So that is looking really good. So he probably takes it here, and then maybe he takes another one here, or he sells here. So let's see what he did. So bought it at 11:02, sold it at 11:05. It's not the right one. I think the timing's off on this because he says he bought it at 11:02 and then sold it at 11:05. So it'd be here. You just sell quick there, and then he sold at 11:38. Oh, sold for $24, and then he sold another one at 11:43. So he sold one, two, three, but he bought it off the 11 o'clock. So they're kind of both in the middle of the range there. I guess they were moving on the pop, and they thought yeah, they're both above, and another leg's going up. I can see how that's a trade. So they're both crossing. That time is actually wrong. 10:02, 11:02. I'm going to change this. Okay, we're going to skip that one because it's a typo. This time is wrong. Yeah, they didn't. And then there's TP3 on that one. Yeah, that one paid really well. They didn't even capture that. All right, let's skip that one. Well, that one's done. And then there was a roll up. Let's see if we got the roll up correct. Roll up. I feel like this should be bought. Yeah, I feel like there's some clerical errors here. Okay, 11:39. This is a roll up. 490. Okay, this is a roll with profit. Sold at 11:43. Made money on this. This record is wrong. I think he lost on that second one. Okay, so we have December 20th, December 24th at 10:50. So at 10:33, 10:43. Quick profit. 8 minutes and 28 minutes. Okay, so he sold and then he rolled again at the 10:45. And he sold it at 12:40, 12:24, and 12:27. So an hour and 40, an hour and, is that right? Yeah. about an hour, and then we didn't roll again for some reason. Why did he decide to stop rolling? Okay, so the next one is the 26th. Okay, so that was it. Oh, that was Christmas Eve. I get it. That's why I didn't roll up. And this is the day after Christmas, and they said SPX holding above 6017. Why is that a level? Previous day. Why is that a level? On the gap down. So I guess it's just a red to green move. Sold it at 1143. 1219. 1247. So this last one, because it was, I guess he had like some kind of order block, and he didn't want to let it fall below, so he just took the profit out there to preserve the profit. Okay, so we have 43, 1143, 1219, 1247. 3 hours and 15 minutes. 2 hours and 2 hours and 11 minutes. It's taken a lot longer than I thought. So now we have the 30th. Okay, so we're above 5904 and it's red to green. And QQQ is moving up, so looks okay. This looks like it'll be a winning trade. So profit target here, I guess. 1229. 1248. 1257. So it takes it at the resistance level and then it starts to drop and then he's like, I'm out because he doesn't know where it's gonna go. Yeah. So that this is kind of like a stop out. 1229. 1248. 1257. And let's see how long we were in these trades. Okay, I'm gonna make a note here. This was a stop out. This was at the key level. And then this one was just 40%. 56 minutes, 47 minutes. Oh, we gotta move this. That was actually a roll that we just did. It was just a little out of order. So now we have to go to December 30th at 11:30. Okay, so this was the original bet, and then yeah, that makes more sense. and then he rolled really quickly. So went up right away, and then he rolled right away. So let's see. So he basically goes up 15 from where it is. So it's 5904, and then he chose a strike price of 5920. 1140, quick profit take. 1140, 1144, basically two here, and then 1204. He sold it after he bought the next roll. How is he doing this so fast? 1140, 1144, 1204. Roll. So he's in that trade for 10 minutes, 14. And it seems like there was another roll. So this there was one, and then there's another roll that failed. So then he did another roll at December 30th, 111. Okay, so there's still method to the madness. Like he's not just rolling when he chooses to roll. Like when the other one's done, I feel like it's still a measured. He's still waiting for it to cross a line as if it's like its own trade. And then I think this one, yeah, so it's crossing this line, but could hit resistance, and that's likely what it did. So that one hit resistance. And then he took it December 31st at 10, 10:27. That's a weird spot to take a lot of. Not going anywhere. Oh, we still have so many. It took us an hour and 20 minutes so far. Okay. See if there's anything going on in the live. Still nothing going on, so I'm gonna keep going here. Just gonna pause it for 2 seconds. All right. Uh, just took a break and we are back at it. So the next one we have here is January 3rd, 10:04, and I rewinded it to that point. Okay, so that makes sense. It's above early morning gap up and then back above 5904 key level, and QQQ basically doing the same thing. So this one looks like it'll probably play out well, but who knows? Yeah, so you see you'd have to dip through this. If this was a zero DTE, which it was, you'd have to, this is probably went down like 20, 30%, maybe even 50%. But you could see there is profit taking there and it was looking strong the whole way. So it looked like it was going to work out. You got to be quick on these because sometimes you got to take it on the next candle. Okay, so I'll put the contract in here. It was the 5930. 5930. I got that at 10:04. So the first take was at 11:36. Right here. It makes sense. Second take was 11:53 here. And then he bought a roll at 11:53, but then he sold out this position at 11:54. So let's just say here's 11:54. Yeah, and then he bought the next position like a minute before that. So little nuance there. Let me put this in here. He sold half and then he sold the full 11:36. 11:54. Okay. So like I said, he created a roll before he sold the other one. So the next one, we'll have to dial it back here. Well, I guess we don't have to. 11:53, which would be this bar, is when he bought the roll. And it probably worked out because we already played it out. So let's see. So he's doing this really quickly. Let's do this. Okay, so he bought it at 11:53, sold 2/3 at 2:37, and then there's no alert, so he might have lost it. 2:37. Let's see. In the spreadsheet, it said he sold it at some other point, but there's no alert. Where's the other alert? No alert, but I can guess that he sold it around here where it was going to break. Or maybe like the next down close candle. Yeah, because it's only at 6. He still made profit on it. Stopped out. And we don't have a time for that one. I'll just mark that in our spreadsheet. Okay. January 7th. $10.43. 10.43. Oh, this is 10.43 right here. So do you think it's going to bounce or do you think it's going to flush? Let's look at QQQ first. Now what do you think? Key level 521 and SPX key level 5938. So if you had played the bounce, you'd have to catch it really quick. That was a pretty big move, I guess. I don't know, 30 points. And then if you played the downside, you would have had you'd have to wait. So you would have had to size for zero. And let's see what he did. So he played a put on 5900. So he thought it was going to get through this level or it was going to hit this level. So let's see. So 322 and 323. How does he know? He knows. He basically caught it on, well, I guess he caught it on the exact T level that we're looking for. Yeah. So, yeah, he sold it there, and then there was no continuation on that. 722, sorry, 322. So basically, he sold for some profit, and then he stopped out. That was weird. It happened within 1 minute, and he stopped out. Didn't make that much profit either. It was like 6.5 divided by 5.2, 25%. Yeah, so he hit his level, but I guess the premiums didn't change that much. Next one is January 8th. 1142. Okay, so SPX above 5904. This is looking like this was the bounce. QQQ. It's looking okay. It's not looking amazing. It's looking okay. This would have to be a lotto play because if this was an underlying, I don't know how good of a play this would be. So let's see. Yeah, because I didn't like it because it wasn't crossing at the moment. Like it chopped around a bit. So this one ended up losing. I'm gonna make my notes here. Chopping around before. QQQ. Yeah, QQQ wasn't in as good position either. So I did not like that trade, and let's see another one. January 16th. So notice there was not a SPX trade for 8 days. I don't know if that's the pattern. Yeah, I guess we're doing QQQ first. So QQQ's red to green for 1109. Again, yeah, I guess you could play the red to green and the bounce. It looks okay. So we took the daily and it never got there. If we had waited a day, it would have got there, but that was still considered a lotto play. So it was like a bounce. From my experience, not a lot of those bounces. I don't know, just from what I've seen so far, the bounces don't seem to work out as well as the ones where everything is crossing at the same time. So January 23rd, January 20th, it's a Thursday. No, it's a Thursday, 10:53. We are in no man's land here. Is this a roll? No, we're just in no man's land. I don't know why he took this trade. Was there news or something? Oh, this is Q's. Near 6100, is that the reason? I guess it worked. I don't understand why he took that trade. Maybe because he's near the 6100 and it looks like it's bouncy. It seems very like borderline, but let's check it out. Yeah, I think he was going for the 6100 move. Sold 1146 and then the next day. The next day. Why did he take one day out? That's interesting. He usually takes the same day, but this time he took one day out. And then it worked in his favor. It's almost like this guy can read the future. Oh, because he said it's a hard level. Let's see if we can get through tomorrow. I guess it did get through, and then it ripped like two and a half. So maybe it's worth the risk to reward. So he's okay losing it. Was he trying to get through? I guess the first one he just wanted. The first profit take was just to get at the level, and then he said, "Okay, let's see if it gets through." And then he took the second profit, and then looks like he rolled. So first profit take is 1146, And then the next profit take is the next day at 9:30. Let's see how this calculates. 22 hours. Yeah. Maybe we'll move that to. Okay, so we have January 24th now, which is a roll up. And he takes it right here. Basically at the same time he sold his other one. So let's just keep this going. So he bought it at 9:33 and he sold the other one at 9:30. And this is the roll up at 6130. So like 10 above where he is right now. And he could have sold here, I guess, and then maybe if it plays out a little more. And this one he took day of. So I think he bought extra time so he could get through that 6100 level. He sold at 10:05 and 9:46. 9:46. 10:05. So that was like that's a stop out. Holy shit. Still a lot to go here. Okay. So there's no trade for like another week or so. So maybe the market was choppy. January 30th, which is a Thursday, 9:49. So it's near this 6071 and pre-market gap up. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Okay. This is the one we're working with. Okay. So there's a rip above 6071 and a rip above, well, yeah, gapped above 521. This looks really good. So it got there the next day, not this day. So he actually lost this one. He only took it for the day. And then the 31st, he took here at 10:30, the 620, the 620, which is 13 off. It's about 10 to 15 off. And then, which is the Friday, and he didn't buy himself extra time, so he did a zero DTE. And this one just tanked, but when did he sell? Did he get out? Let's see. He seems to have the timing down and he avoids all these big blow-ups. So he sold at 11:01. First profit take. Yeah, first profit take. And then he stopped out at 11:30. Yeah, so he stopped out when it was going down. So this was a quick, and then he stopped out quickly. So it's almost like there was an order block there. Okay, next one's February 5th. Moving a little faster here. 11:49, 11:29. That's the candle, because the candle would have an 11:30. So it's near 6034. Where's QQQ? Yeah, I don't like it too much. It's not above. It's not above the key. Well, this is not a real level. It's not above this level, 6034, and then QQQ is chopping around. So there's opportunity to take profit there. Let's see what he did. It said he did not take profit. Why did he not take profit? The chart Looks like there's profit. Did you forget to sell this? Huh. So this one, something weird happened there because it looked like there could be profit right here. Like it moved enough. It moved 10 points really quickly. Maybe it's got to get. No, he should have made money on that one. Yeah, he should have made money on that. February. Still a lot to go here. This is painful. 217. Okay, so that's 6100. This is a hard level to get through. Already got through once, twice. Hard level. But if it gets through, it could be explosive. And QQQ is already through. Probably a good bet. Would have liked it above, but let's see how, like, the wicks above already, but let's see how it plays out. So you got to take that profit quick when it's there. Okay, so that's right. And then the sell 239. And then 931. Oh, the next day. P1, P2, and then yeah, he bought the roll up at the same time that he sold, or just a little bit before. Just FYI. So 931, 239. 239, and then the next was the next day, 930. we have a roll up at 931, so we're going to reuse this line. 931, roll from 6120, that's correct. I do not see a sell on this. This is probably all, this is lost. Okay. So I guess you just keep rolling until it dies out, they said. The question is, how much do they roll up? So let's say the first roll, you make a profit of $1,000, you take 50% of that, and you put 500 into the next roll. If you win that roll, do you take another? Do you take 50% of that roll now, and you keep getting less and less? That's what I'd be interested in knowing. Feb 20th, 9:54. So he took a put here because it broke two levels. 6100 is a hard level, so maybe he only took the put to here and it's not caring if it goes all the way through. So he bought the 6090 put for the same day. And he probably took it pretty quickly. Took it at 9:59 and 10 o'clock. And then 10:01. So boom, boom, boom. Next candles. 9:59, 10. 10, 10:01. That was really quick. 7 minutes. 6 minutes. Wow. And then February 24th. Yeah, so losing 6,000 is a big level, so this probably is going to turn out well for a put. Oh, the question is, did he sell here or did he wait till he got here? Let's see what happened. And how would he know it's going to get back there after it goes back up? Because this looks like it's defending. So 10:03, which is still this candle. And then 10:07, 10:05, and 10:07. 10:07. That is a quick move. So the quick moves on the puts, just to note. So he just took these ones, but could have caught that. But the pattern, when it breaks, he just seems to be taking that all the time. So he missed this move, but I guess it's hard to predict that move. And then you're risking all of this because this goes to zero. I have to pay attention to the strikes too. If the strikes are not correct, then you could lose money or not make money. Holy, only halfway done here. One more. Actually, we can go for another hour and a half. February. So it lost. Are we going for another put here? Yes, we are. So this looks good. So notice two times the last two went up and then it actually came back down. That's tricky though. Let's see if he actually took it. I think he just tries to take it fast. I think he just exited quickly. Yeah, it didn't say when he stomped out. If he held it, he would have made money all the way to here, but I think he just stopped out here. Gonna pause it again.